Voters in Panama are casting their ballot. Polls have opened in a crowded field of presidential contenders. 8 candidates are in the race. But the spotlight is on Jose Raul Mulino, who is leading in polls. The voting comes just days after the Supreme Court announced that the frontrunner, who was on the risk of disqualification, is eligible to run. The court's rejection of the constitutional challenge to Mulino's candidacy has removed the element of uncertainty in the Central American nation's unpredictable race.
According to the forecasts, Mulino is expected to be the Republic's president. On the other hand, the other candidates want nothing to do with Mulino. It seems that Mulino will be the one to take the reins of the country. The others have been in power for 42 years, and look at the country's conditions.
Panama's electoral rules do not require a runoff, so the results of the polls will be final. Let's take a look at the 5 frontrunners present on the ballot. The frontrunner, Jose Raul Mulino, has 30% voter intention in opinion polls. He replaced country's former president, Ricardo Martinelli, in March, who was sentenced to 11 years in prison for corruption and money laundering. Panama's former leader is now backing Mulino via social media from the Nicaraguan embassy, where he has taken asylum since early February. Surveys show that the 64-year-old has inherited his former running mate's popularity, and with court removing hurdles to his candidacy, the 64-year-old is vying for victory. He has served as a deputy foreign minister in the 1990s, as well as the interior and security minister during Martinelli's administration between 2009 and 2014. The next one is the 59-year-old lawyer, Romulo Ruu, who is running for office for the second time. Most opinion polls have ranked him as the runners-up. He was the partner at law firm Morgan & Morgan and represented the Canadian miner First Quantum Minerals in the country. Ruu once headed the authority that governed the Panama Canal. He made tourism and logistics his priorities while pledging to create 500,000 jobs. Martin Torrijos is the son of former Panama President Omar Torrijos, who persuaded U.S. to cede control of the Panama Canal in the 1970s. Torrijos made the waterway the centerpiece of his administration during his own first presidential term from the year 2004 to 2009. He held a referendum to decide on its expansion. He also sealed Panama's first free trade agreement with the U.S. His son now aims to broaden the canal's operations by making it the country's water resources manager, and also plans to spend $19 billion on 40 infrastructural projects, as well as creating 165,000 direct jobs. 50-year-old lawyer Ricardo Lombana is running for the president for the second time. He is prioritizing modernization of Panama's institutions and fostering sustainable economic growth. He served as a consul general at Panama's embassy in the U.S. His campaign, however, is receiving backlash for opposing the same-sex marriage. The 40-year-old current vice president of Panama, Jose Gabriel Carrizo, intends to keep his ruling Democratic Revolution Party in power. But what's interesting to note is that no Panamanian party has held power for consecutive terms since the 1980s. His administration is promising increase to the minimum wage and building a dry canal that will link the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific. Carrizo's administration struggled to handle the COVID-19 pandemic and inflation. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.